you, I am extremely nervous about doing this particular episode. And honestly, I don't think you're going to find this to be a big deal. I guess I do. Since most of you don't really know me and you don't know my personality, I'm a bit conservative. Some people might say I'm uptight about certain things, and I would say that that is accurate. Something that's happened in some of my experiences that I've not talked with you about is nudity. Now, on YouTube, you have to be very careful about the way that you address things. So, obviously, I'm not going to be specific about anything, but because I share all of my experiences with you, and it's so funny, I actually begin to feel a bit guilty when I don't share everything. Sometimes when I hold things back, I'm like, well, should I share this? Shouldn't I share this? I don't know. Again, you're probably not going to think it's a big deal. I thought it was a big deal. I've held back on sharing it, but I'm going to share it in a very general way. And yeah, you're going to see how shy I am about this kind of stuff. Anyway, I have been or seen realities where clothing is optional. And I don't want to get too much more specific than that, but there are realities where people don't wear clothes. And I've seen this. And the first time I saw it, it was startling to me. I was like, oh my gosh, they're not wearing anything. Now, I guess you have to think of it in a way of, if they saw us in our reality wearing clothes, what would they think of us? Would they think it's kind of strange that we cover up, that, we don't have the opportunity to experience the weather, I guess, on that level, to have the sun, shining on us? Anyway, I don't know. This episode's already making me feel weird. I want to talk about one specific instance, though, that happened, because I like to always specify things and not be too general about this stuff. There was an instance that happened where I saw something. Now, those of you that have been following this channel, you know that I have astral projection experiences. I have what I call beyond body experiences. And by the way, I don't usually mention this, but Robert Monroe, the basic, modern father of astral projection, called it locale 3. I call it beyond body, and I just kind of recently discovered this. But so you have the beyond body, you have astral projection, and then sometimes when I reach that higher vibrational level, and remember, I just did that episode on reaching the higher vibrational frequency and how that opens the door and you can do many things. I can also see things. Sometimes I believe I see into other realities, and I'll see television, sometimes they're media. And interestingly enough, in this particular case, I was looking at what I thought was a commercial. Now, two interesting things about this commercial. The first was there were, I think there were two women, one man, and then there was another woman. None of them were wearing clothing in the commercial. That's number one. One of the women, they looked small, and I mean, like, they were tiny, and the other people that were around this woman, they looked like giants. Well, compared to her, she couldn't have been more than, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 feet tall, maybe at best, and she was on a table talking to them. And then there were these other people that were bigger. They looked normal size, and they were around her. And this smaller lady was standing next to a bottle of glue. Now, it is a brand name bottle of glue that, again, because I'm on YouTube, I'm not going to mention the name of the glue, but I will say that if I did mention the name of the glue, you would know what it is because it's a popular brand. Again, I am not going to mention that name. I will say it was a very popular name of a glue, and the lady was talking about it, and the people around her were talking as well. Now, I know this sounds really strange. Again, this is another reason why sometimes these experiences happen to me and they're so out of the box. They're so weird that I'm almost nervous about talking about them because I'm like, I wonder what people are going to think. But I have to tell you, this is what I saw. I'm just simply reporting to you what I saw. That's all I'm doing. You make up your own mind about what it was. I wasn't exactly sure what the commercial was. It wasn't like, it was almost like I don't remember even hearing. It was almost like I was watching this in silence. And I was just curious, like, what are they doing? Why aren't they wearing clothes? But again, this isn't the first time. This is not the first time that I have seen a place that is like that, where there is nudity and people walk around and clothing isn't a thing in certain realities. So anyway, that's the first thing I wanted to kind of talk about really quickly today. The other thing I wanted to talk about was a few days ago, actually 3 or 4 days ago, I did have an experience, a very quick one. I usually, when I have experiences now, I will get right on the mic and tell you moments after it's happened because I want to share it with you immediately. I want you to know this is what happened and that's it. But with this experience, it was such a mundane experience, and I've talked about this before as well. Not all of my experiences are, I don't know, you might say exciting. The episodes that I have posted on here, they varied. I know there have been different experiences that I've had, sometimes they're amazing. Sometimes I've seen things that are just so astonishing that it's almost like I'm speechless when I'm looking at whatever it is. But there have been times where I've seen things that are just simply mundane. Things that we do in the 3D world that I would think that nobody would be interested in. This was one of those things. I think the notable thing about this was the fact that I laid down and I was like, okay, I'm going to do Beyond Body, and I actually triggered it. I mean, I was patient. It took time to do, and it happened. I mean, this is a cool thing for me, being able to lay down and just do this, to go someplace else, to travel. I mean, it's one of the coolest things to be able to do it. And I feel as if I am gaining more and more control over being able to do it. So that was notable, that I laid down and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And I did it. I went out. And I did the Beyond Body. But what was so interesting was once I got out, once I was in the place I was in, and it's interesting, I went through that whole thing with movement, though I didn't go very far. For those of you who have listened to my Beyond Body experiences, there are times when I travel and I go, I accelerate and I'm really going far out there. And there's times when I go, it's a very short trip. Well, this was a very short trip. I moved very little. And when I opened my eyes in this reality, I was in an apartment that looked basically identical to the apartment I live in now. I mean, there was really, honestly, no difference that I can remember, other than maybe it was a bit wider. But in the beginning, what was so funny was I walked around and I thought, I haven't gone anywhere. What happened? I thought I went somewhere, and I'm walking around and I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still in my apartment. I'm looking around and there's nothing. I even went to my door, opened my door, looked out, saw the hallway that I have seen many, many times. No surprises. And I kept thinking that I hadn't gone anywhere. The only difference is, again, for those of you who have followed this channel, you know that I walk with a cane. In this particular reality, I was walking perfectly without one. So I was definitely in another reality. And I remember when I opened my eyes, I looked around and I thought, wow, this was weird, because up to the moment that I opened my eyes, I didn't think I had gone anywhere. So mundane experiences do happen. And when I say mundane, I want to make sure you understand that I feel so blessed to be able to do what I do. Even when I go to places where, people are maybe shopping or just doing whatever we do here, it is still amazing for me to be out there. And again, one of the things that I want for you is to be able to have your own experiences, to have your own extraordinary, astonishing experiences. And I'm here for you. I am a resource for you. So, as always, if you have questions, thoughts, whatever, please leave them in the comments. I will do the best I can to answer them for you. Thank you so much for coming on another journey with me. Have a happy holiday, safe as you can. And until next time, take care.